Nice.
It's insane.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Which what?
This is for Adam. You see this is a critical time for you, and are you anxious about the way you'll be received?
You didn't wonder why me? I mean, I may love this guy's movies, but what the hell am I going to do in his world?
It's a new, I guess, a new chapter. And I'm happy I met this guy.
I was excited to try to accomplish something that I haven't really done before.
What are you doing in here, cutie?
Watching football.
Who do you want to win?
The goddamn Jets.
For his 1999 comedy Big Daddy, Adam casts actress Jackie Tatone.
Too bad you don't like girls. I think you could have had her.
And Adam took his shot.
I was just getting ready to do Big Daddy,
Would.
and she was getting into acting.
How's the social life going? Big changes, I hear, yeah?
You have a new girlfriend?
I got a girlfriend now. Yeah, I read in the paper I had a fiance, but I don't. I have a girlfriend. Yeah, I got a girl. And I fell in love with her pretty quick.
Jackie appears again the following year in Little Nicky, and in 2002 she acts alongside Adam's family in 8 Crazy Nights.
It could be so nice, growing old with
Oh god. The amount of times that I've played that.
2003, the two of them had tied
It's not a whole lot, but it's crazy.
On a ring.
Now, the wedding is very interesting. Was your dog the best man?
Yes, yeah. He wasn't the best man. He brought the rings out.
Got a girlfriend, got a house, got a girl in the house.
Yeah.
Do you find you're becoming like your dad?
My dad's like a real guy. He's a real...
Yeah, he's a real dude. He exists.
Me and my dad were amazingly tight, yes.
My father in real life was highly respected in my household. We kind of lived by his rules. I love my dad more than anything, and anything he told me to do, I would do. I used to love any comedian my father and mother liked. I'd be like, oh God, I want to be like that guy. It's making my dad happy.
Only 3 months after his marriage, in September, Adam said goodbye to his father, Stanley Sandler.
I was very tight with my dad, and when he was sick,
And
I
the
was
click
with him
came
as much as I could.
That's why you're here right now, to protect me, to be scared for me, to be a good father.
I always would tell friends who didn't lose their dad, you better spend time with them. I'm telling you, it will rock you.
I love you, son. I love you too, Dad. Goodbye.
Let's face it, you've got big ideas, but they're just that, aren't they? Ideas.
Fuck you, story blocks.
I was your college roommate, for Christ's sake. You don't remember me?
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Good to see you, Burroughs.
It's Johnson.
By 2007,
Don Cheadle, word of the day. And
Adam's experience with grief had changed him artistically.
I get that you're in pain, but you got each other.
In Reign Over Me, Adam's character deals with the trauma of losing his wife and daughters in a plane crash. Alongside Don Cheadle, Sandler's suffering is heart-wrenching.
I love Don Cheadle.
And you suffered a great loss.
Why are you asking me? Are you trying to focus me?
And until you can discuss that,
Friends talk to each other about what's going on in their
You're
lives.
an asshole.
and we can really talk about that. This is all just an exercise.
As an actor, are you trying to find some sense of balance between doing comedy and drama?
I had 3 daughters.
How do you feel that this movie is going to take you in a direction of being more serious?
This was not something I thought about ever doing. This just happened.
They adored me, Johnson.
This script was so, it was written really well and moving, and it broke my heart.
I saw it and I felt it at the same time.
And then I just decided
So, I haven't been smoking anymore. But I've been
Adam, typically one to call the shots,
just doing,
was finding that
it's
he
like
found
nicotine
comfort
salt. It's
in
very nice.
relinquishing control to talented directors.
Ultimately, it was just Paul Thomas
Yes, I do.
Anderson writing me something when I'm with these great guys. It's kind of relaxing in a way, knowing that they're not going to move on until they're happy.
You know, I've only
I do
done
make
a
them
few
into arrow
heavy
shafts.
parts, and this by far was the heaviest. And it is not an easy life for an actor who does that. And I am more than happy to run right back to comedy now and just enjoy my life a little more.
Maybe Adam had grown up a little, but growing up Does it have to be so serious?
Why so serious? God, Adam Sandler cast as the. Oh, god damn it!
His return to family comedies.
All right, whatever.
Grown Ups is the culmination of a nearly 20-year-long friendship group.
I always want to do stuff with these guys forever.
Oh,
you know?
God.
I'd rather be with people I know and I trust.
Who's ready to get their funeral on? We kind of do it all together. We do it as a team.
B3, D1, D2. Okay.
See a rope in a lake, and that doesn't make you want to go nuts. We kind of live in
DDB?
one place together. Our houses are all near each other.
Let's go.
We all got kids. They all hang out together. I can't let go. Just get it. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
On the set of his movies, Adam is worshipped, but offset. He's never been widely accepted.
The critics have said, I'm going to read you my favorite ones.
Critics haven't necessarily always loved your work.
This movie is the last nail in Adam Sandler's coffin. Another said he's no longer a movie star. And another one called you a man-child.
First off, let me say thanks for dressing for the show. I appreciate.
Adam doesn't have really a great wardrobe.
What a great outfit that is. You got.
Adam Sandler
He's
and
comfortable.
his movie Jack and Jill won a record-setting 10
God.
Razzie Sunday night.
What does this mean again?
It means I can't stand you being here.
And the Razzie for Worst Picture of the Year goes to... What do you think?
I think.
When it comes to Adam
Get the
Sandler, there is one thing
Jagex,
we can
please
agree on,
fix.
that no one
God.
can agree whether or not Adam Sandler is funny.
Don't make random short for other people.
What the critics say? Do you care about that? You know, it doesn't matter that much to me. I know what they're gonna say every movie. They're gonna say they don't like it.
Is that something you paid attention to? Is that something that's bothered you?
I have a love
Nice.
in my life. It makes me stronger than anything you
How much
can
spark I
imagine.
got? 581. I've already got half the fucking lumberjack outfit.
Congratulations, I hear a baby's on the way, and even better, I hear it's yours.
Absolutely. I'm addicted to him. I love being with him, and when I'm not with him, I'm very, very depressed. I believe in hard work and what I'm trying to accomplish, but I just mostly want to be able to have time with my family and give him a good childhood.
Keen on simply providing for his family, Adam is able to shut off the noise, as well as the buzz.
You know, when people talk about your career, they talk about these ups and then the downs.
Yeah,
ups
it's
and
really
downs.
easy when you can wipe your tears with $100 bills.
Acting and comedy to try to do the best I could. I loved every movie I've made. I've never in my entire career phoned one thing in. I also see a couple of grads here today following my path and becoming a fellow 5-time Razzie Award winner. That stuff doesn't hurt me anymore. I think it hurt me 20 years ago. Try to make funny movies and try to make kids laugh. That was my goal. Which, if it does happen, don't be upset. Call me. And I'll teach you the proper way to laugh all the way to the bank.
Yeah, seriously.
I've never been on a plane before.
You know, we were just talking about that movie, Punch Drunk Love, and this is a very nice thing for you. There's actually Oscar buzz.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, the Oscar thing?
The Oscar, you know.
Oh,
that's
first
not-
beast.
That's not very Sandlerian.
Right.
Oh,
Now,
nice.
You're doing so well that you actually start your own production company, Happy Madison Productions.
Yes. The whole goal of the company was to keep my friends employed. First of all, they don't. I can't go to the awards. They don't make a tuxedo out of sweatpant material. And number two, if I by some weird freak accident won the thing, you know, I couldn't take that trophy home because I know my friends would cut his head off and make a bong out of him.
Fucking nice. But I just know the next Spawn Spawn's gonna be fucking horrible. Swear to God.
I was with Ben. He got a Walk of Fame star, and I went and visited him, and I said, we got to do a movie together, right?
Son of a bitch! Dad, stop yelling in the car. He cannot hear you, okay?
Mommy and Daddy and Genius Girl make three. And I said, we could play brothers. He said, yeah, I was thinking that too. You got my hands, you got my toes.
But luckily, I got mommy's nose.
I was disappointed in you for quitting piano.
And then we talked to Noah, and he was thinking a similar thought.
Adam connected to something very deeply in this guy.
And we lucked out. Got to do this together.
And it was deep, and that was.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
You know, it was very moving to me.
Get it together!
I don't even know what it is.
In 2017, Adam made his biggest step back into dramatic acting with the Meyerowitz stories.
Was this something that you took on because it was a challenge, or did you feel it was a natural progression at this stage of your life and career?
It was just luck that this
Oh,
guy
fucking
wrote
fix
an
this one,
amazing
please.
movie and handed it to me.
Now, if you really want to troll people, you can just close the door.
Project. I read it and knew it was a great movie, and it was. We didn't start shooting for like maybe 5 months after, and I would study my lines every night. Just didn't want to let Noah down because I didn't want to let the guy down.
It's our career, it's our life, it's movie to movie. You can't exactly say, I'm doing this next, and then that's it. You don't know what's coming next. Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
I quote that so much.
Your new film, Uncut Gems, your performance is crazy.
Carter, what is happening? Don't know me.
So I want the Celtics to cover. I want the Celtics halftime.
I wanted to talk to you for a minute.
Nice.
Well, the guys who wrote it, the Safdie brothers.
How amazing their stuff is, and the fact that they wanted to work with me, that was exciting.
I heard you free surf at your fucking swimming pool. You know how that makes me feel? Never free surf your life is more important.
Is it too late? Should we maybe?
Are you serious right now?
I don't know. I just know.
Well, I'll tell you what I know. That's the dumbest fucking bet I ever heard of.
Someone like Sandler, he can, first of all, he's unbelievable. From all, you know, we grew up on his comedy records.
They wrote it for me like 10 years ago. I disagree.
Look in my eyes, and they'll tell you what I'm feeling.
Take his clothes off.
Man, this is just something I have to do.
Fucking weak, give me my glass!
I think you are the most annoying person I have ever met.
Get him out of the car! Get the fuck out the fucking car!
I hate being with you. I hate looking at you.
No, I want the underwear. Give me the underwear, you cocksucker.
And if I had my way, I would never see you again.
It's okay. Thank you. I'll meet you right back inside. It's all good now. When I get to do something like this, like Uncut Gems, it's a different excitement for me because I'm not sure of myself.
I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do. Everything I do is not going right.
And the Spirit Award for Best Male Lead goes to...
This is my fucking way. This is how I win.
I've got a car. God.
Adam Sandler.
Thanks. I love you guys. Thank you. I'd like to also give a shout out to my fellow nominees, who will now and forever be known as the guys who lost to fucking Adam Sandler.
I don't try to accomplish something, I feel like I might be screwing up a little. And I think that's what drives me, is that I'm kind of obsessed with it.
Shit comes your way, you connect with it, and you go, I ain't fucking this one up.
It seems like you're drawn to these characters who are unlucky, you could say losers.
I enjoy playing these guys who are struggling. I'm a nice man. I mind my own business. Admire somebody who doesn't give up. So you tell me that's that before I beat the hell from you.
He doesn't play underdogs. He plays champions that are overlooked.
Ooh! We are delighted to honor one of Hollywood's most loved comedic actors today.
Hello, my name is Adam Sandler.
As he is honored with the 2,431st star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
And I am the 2023 Mark Twain Humor Prize Award recipient.
Today we honor Adam Sandler.
Can I get a hell yeah?
This man standing here is not just a wonderful son, an incredible husband, a loving father, a producer, a writer, and an actor, and a loyal friend.
I'm soft. I'm a soft man.
You are.
Easy.
You're a big kid. I think that's why everyone likes you.
Yeah.
He is also
I didn't see my XP drop.
dedicated to the people that helped him get here, his fans.
I've walked down the street with movie stars, and I've never seen anything like it when Adam walks down the street. He's there. He's present. He's not somewhere else.
My friends who are here today, I want to thank them so much.
I love you, Adam.
Love you, buddy.
You see him and you love him. You want to be his
Broken.
friend, that's the truth.
Nobody makes me laugh like you, and nobody has taken better care of me in this business than you.
They always back me up 100% and make sure I accomplish whatever I set out to do. It's been a nice, just a great ride. I come from a great family. I had an amazing mom. I had an amazing dad who's watching down, I'm sure. He'd be very excited about this. All they ever did was make me feel like I'm good at things. They just always made me feel like I was the star.
I literally have
So
never
many people
gotten.
come out here with the same dreams I had, and somehow I'm getting to do them, and I really appreciate it. And then, along came two of the true best things. Babies showing up, Sadie and Sonny. I love you. You want to say something? Every hang we have, I'm only wishing time will stand still, because being with you two and Mommy, that's the best life can get.
I love my daddy.
This guy's so bad.
I love my daddy.
I love you too. You guys are my buddies. I love you more than anything in the world.
Thanks for growing old with
The real Rob. Adam Sandler is a weird guy. Where part of me is like, yeah, you know, yeah, he's pretty good. Wait, they really already got it? RMM? Jesus Christ. No, it's not fucking RMM. Eat shit. Oh my god, get rid of these fucking randoms, dude. Whatever. It's a skill issue, dude. Had not considered getting good. Oh shit, I'm gonna let my cat in. Oh shit, dude, I'm XP wasting. There you go. the Wii's least used.
So you know how every game system has that feature or two that we just kind of forget about over time, and that even the developer quietly drops? You know, an expansion slot that never gets used, or the PS3's 3D TV compatibility, or the Kinect, you know, stuff like that. Well, among all of the Nintendo Wii's quirks and unique features is one really neat one that went so underused that Nintendo just straight up removed it. And no, it's not the Wii Shop channel. I'm talking about the ability to save data directly to your Wii remote and bring it with you to other Wii systems, sort of like a precursor to Amiibos.
Cool.
Now, most wireless controllers, of course, do have some amount of data that's saved on them, whether
Fucking
it's controller
bees.
firmware or
Not the
pairing data
bees.
or anything like that, but that's not what I'm referring to
yeah,
here.
buddy.
See, built into every early Wiimote is a ROM chip that would allow you to transfer data to and from your system, so that you could do things like, for example, bring your Pokemon Battle Revolution team to a friend's house and battle with it. Or if you were playing Monster Hunter Co-op, you could bring your controller and character with you, save the rewards from your hunts, and earn them back on your own system once you got back home. It wouldn't really be Nintendo if they didn't fully embrace the local experience after all. Seemingly the main reason for this feature existing, though, is so that you could save up to 10 Miis from your system to the controller and then bring them over to your friends' houses and export them there.
There we go.
But if you're like me, you either totally forgot or never even knew this was a thing, and instead you just made your Miis from scratch at every new friend's house. Since there were a ton of Wii systems that weren't connected to the internet back then, using the Mii contest / Check Me Out channel to upload and download
Check
Miis
Me Out.
wasn't always an option, which might be another part of why this feature exists. It's hard to say, though. It honestly might have just been an afterthought considering the size of the storage available on the controller. And speaking of, let's go into the hardware details for a sec before talking about some of the other games that used this memory. This ROM chip is a whopping 128 kilobits in size.
Wow.
I made that sound big, but that's only 16 kilobytes, about half the size of the original Super Mario Bros. On the NES. Or, for a more save data-oriented comparison, PlayStation 1 memory cards could store 8 times as much data as your Wii controller could. The PS1 used save blocks as its memory unit analog, sort of like the GameCube and Wii did afterwards. Actually, fun fact, each save block on the Wii was 128 kilobytes, or one PS1 memory card. And in the PS1's case, each of the 15 blocks that were available on any official memory card would take up just over 4 times as much data as this Wii Remote ROM chip had in total. So obviously you weren't going to be saving full games on your controller, although that would have been really cool.
It would have been
Better yet,
just playing it without.
Of that 16
Get
were
that a
actually
screen.
reserved data for storing things like calibration data, registers for certain controller peripherals, and seemingly allowing for the possibility of controller firmware updates by passing the data through this chip to another chip on the controller, although because there was no firmware update for the Wii remotes, that's more of a theory by modders. Of the remaining 6 kilobytes that you could use as a player, 2 of that was reserved for saving up to 10 Miis, like I mentioned earlier, and then the remaining 4 was usable by any game that could figure out a good use for that little space. And
yeah, what the fuck would you use in
there were
that?
somehow more than just 1 or 2 games that took on that challenge, some of them even coming out years after the fact. Not many more games, but by my count, 8 to 10 games and 1 app had Wii Remote save data functionality. And I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever if I'm missing 1 or 2, because this feature is so under the radar that even Nintendo's
Help out them
official
fucking
site
bees.
barely discusses it. And after spending about 10 hours digging through troves of niche Wii games, I'm ready to call it quits before I Wii snap. So let's talk about the games that I found. First up are the system's launch games, where you'd expect the vast majority of these games to come from, since usually the very earliest titles on any given console try to pack in every gimmick they possibly can before the less useful features are quickly dropped. Surprisingly, only a few of these titles actually did come out in 2006 or 2007, though. In Pokemon Battle Revolution, like I touched on a bit earlier, the Wii Remote saving was used for, I shit you not, they're called Battle Passes. So the way this game operated was that every Pokemon trainer received a Battle Pass in order to compete in Poketopia, the city featured in this game. This Battle Pass would display trainer data like their outfit and chosen catchphrases, as well as the Pokemon team that's saved to that particular pass.
That's cool.
There are 3 Battle Pass types here in Poketopia. Rental passes, which are given to you in the game itself. Custom passes if you transfer Pokemon data over from Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, or Soul Silver, or Friend passes, which were what you would save to the controller to put them on friends' save files at their house. You could also get Friend passes just by battling online. The second launch window game to use this feature is a series with the same level of prestige as Pokemon 2. That would be Super Swing Golf. Okay, well, maybe not quite the same level, but in this one you could save your character and their stats/build to bring over to a friend's house. However, if you wanted to save data from one game to your Wiimote, you should probably be prepared to wipe whatever data you already had in that whopping 4 kilobytes of free space. You're not likely to find any two of these games that are kind enough to share. And then, of course, there's the Mii Channel and Mii Plaza, where you would deposit Miis after you've copied them to the remote. These ones are more of an app than a game, of course, so it's the technicality of the launch, but it was a launch feature. And if you really wanted to argue this, you could say that the Wii Remote Save feature was usable in another 100-ish games besides the ones I'm talking about, since once you transfer a Mii from your controller, it'd be usable on that Wii in any game that uses Miis, whether that's Wii Fit, Mario Kart, or the dozens of games that use Miis as your save icon and nothing else. By the way, for how prevalent Miis were, it's kind of surprising browsing the comprehensive list and seeing how few actually used Miis when you look back. But since just about none of those games directly support the actual transfer process from system to controller and vice versa, I'm not going to count them here. The two I will count, however, are Wii Sports and Wii Play, because at one point this Mii transfer feature ended up being removed from the Mii Channel and other system-level features of later model Wiis. I couldn't check every single one of the Wii Insert Subtitle Here games because I don't have all of them, but at least you could still finish up that Mii transfer process from controller to system, although your character's sports stats wouldn't come with it, sadly. Once we move past the Wii's launch window, we've got to jump ahead to 2008 to get to the next game
I swear
on
my
this list,
clicks are
Super
not
Smash
bad.
Brothers Brawl.
I don't know why
Although Miis
it's...
were considered as a possible playable character that they could have included in Brawl for, and this is a quote, about a minute, after that minute Sakurai said no to the idea because he was afraid that it could be used for bullying. Thinking about that possibility, though, not the bullying part, but the Mii Fighters part, seeing how the Mii Fighters eventually worked when they were in Smash 4 and Smash Ultimate, it might have potentially made for the most comprehensive use of this Wiimote transfer feature. Instead, what you can do here is save your control layout to your Wiimote so that you can bring it over and it's ready to go when you visit friends, rather than have to spend a minute setting up your own profile on every new console you play on. The only other 2008 game that used this feature was Carnival Games Mini Golf, the second golf game on this list, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. This was one of those games that decided not to use Miis and instead give you your own Mii-like avatar.
Yeah, that was always
another
weird.
Fun trend during the Wii era, as studios tried to create their own fad. That's all this one did, though. You just transferred your avatar to your Wiimote and then brought it over to your friend's house.
Oh, snap guard
for whatever
seats.
reason you wanted to play Carnival Games Mini Golf at their house with your own character. There's no stats or anything, and this game-specific avatar category is what I'm guessing any of the games that I might have missed would fall into as far as Wii transfer stuff goes. Actually, the final game to release that has controller save data, September 2010's Club Penguin Game Day, is also one of these, so I'll just mention it here and get it out of the way. Perhaps the most noteworthy
I literally got 2 pieces today.
is the My Sims franchise, which replaced normal Sims with, well, My Sims. And it's actually thanks to this series that this video I'm making right now even exists. While I was working on my video covering My Sims, I discovered that 2009's My Sims Racing had maybe the coolest implementation of the Wiimote save function, a thing that, again, I had completely forgotten existed. See, My Sims Racing might sound like a shitty cash-in cart game to capitalize on yet another gaming fad of that era, but it's actually not just competent, but genuinely really fun. One of the better kart games out there that doesn't have Mario, Sonic, or Crash on the box. It limits the gimmicky motion controls to just shaking up the cart. It's got creative levels, and it's got fully customizable carts that let you fine-tune the stats and looks of your vehicle. You can save up to 1 car of each of the 3 sizes, small, medium, and large, and transfer these along with your own MySim to other friends' Wiis by sending that data to and from your controller. That way you wouldn't have to just use a stock vehicle or put together your own Frankenstein cart based on whatever items your friend had unlocked. You can just use the cart that you know is perfect for you. Now you've just got to find a friend who bought My Sims Racing on the Wii. Kinda surprisingly, none of the other My Sims games ended up utilizing this feature. It does make sense since all but the Bad Party game are predominantly single-player experiences, but since the first 2 My Sims games are sort of Animal Crossing adjacent, I'm almost a little surprised that you couldn't transfer your villager to the controller and then give him to a friend's town so they could live
Oh
there
yeah,
too.
what the fuck?
Now, if you want to hear more about that series when you're done here, go check out that video. It's actually a really interesting franchise that stood out way more than I expected, given its, well, shovelware.
There was a couple good
documentation, and that 4 of the 6 games
DS
in the
games
franchise
that they
released
used.
in a calendar year. There's even an official Dead Space crossover because they were made by some of the same team. That doesn't
Holy
mean
shit,
much, I don't
what?
know what will. Just a few days after My Sims Racing released, Pokemon Rumble dropped in Japan.
Oh, Pokemon
In
Rumble
this
was so
weird
much
little
fun.
beat-em-up game, the first downloadable WiiWare title, and maybe the only one to use the controller saving gimmick, you could save up to a dozen of your Pokemon to the Wiimote and bring them to a friend's house for co-op. Your Pokemon don't level up in this game though, so it's not like you get an actual reward or experience to bring back home for doing so, it's just for bringing whatever ones you have with you. About 6 weeks after Rumble, though, Japanese players did get a game that used the Wii Remote to transfer rewards from local co-op, and it's the final game we're going to talk about today, Monster Hunter Tri, which released in America and elsewhere the following year. In addition to having a seamless online co-op feature that let up to 4 players work together in the single-player campaign, and also being one of only about a dozen games ever to use the We Speak peripheral that you didn't know existed, which let you chat online with your party while playing, Monster Hunter Tri also featured a mission-based arena mode that you could play locally via split screen. Aside from the 3 missions that are unlocked from the start, you would obtain up to 7 more missions by catching specific monsters in quests during the main story. Then, in this arena, you and maybe a friend could battle those monsters and try to beat the target time to get a bunch of different rewards that I'll lump together since this game's called Monster Hunter Tri, and I'll call them Tri Points that you could then bring back to the story to upgrade your character more on your own system. Now, I'm not a huge Monster Hunter guy, but this apparently wasn't a super interesting feature on the Wii. Some players just sort of referred to it as a demo to try and convince other friends to buy the game, since the online play was just the full game but with friends rather than this separate, segmented, very limited game mode. But whatever the case, I think it's kind of cool that you could transfer your character to the controller, bring it to a friend's house, and then bring back some of those Tri Points to your own save file once you got back home. If this were the case for a more involved mode than just this little side mode, I would probably put this above My Sims as the best way a game used this whole controller saving gimmick, but it's a cool bone to throw out either way, if nothing else. After 2010 and that aforementioned Club Penguin game, I couldn't find any later games that utilized the feature, which kinda makes sense since later software and even hardware revisions seem to have dropped the feature entirely. The Wii Mini, for example, doesn't have this feature.
This is probably a
horrible
XP use. Or time use for the XP I'm getting, but I don't give a shit.
Any other thing they could do to try and cut costs. The Wii U's virtual Wii menus dropped the functionality as well, and the Wii channel itself seems to have removed the feature on later base Wii models. Either that or the Wii Remote revisions themselves cut the feature. I'm genuinely not sure, and Nintendo's own documentation doesn't help clear it up. Whatever the case, I'm surprised the idea even lasted past launch, let alone that studios found new and kind of innovative ways to use such a limited space as time went on. Now, with all of this said, you might be wondering why this sort of save data couldn't just be saved to a proper memory card. Wouldn't that just be easier? Well, for one, at least as far as I can think of, there are only a couple games that actually ever used 2 memory card slots at once. Time Splitters would let you save and load multiple player profiles, although I believe only 1 per memory card, if my memory serves right. In Animal Crossing on the GameCube, you could load your save in memory slot A and then visit the town in slot B, like if you brought your card over to a friend's house to show your friend your village. And in Guilty Gear Isuka, you could simultaneously load from multiple save slots, so that each player could fight with their own version of that game's customizable character, Robo-Kai 2. Again, I am certain there are others out there that I'm missing. There's probably some sports game that has a multi-tap feature where you could link up 8 Madden games and save files and play a franchise mode or something like that. That has to exist, I'm sure. Do let me know in the comments which ones I'm missing.
No, that makes it's too much work for EA. They would never.
From multiple memory cards just wasn't a thing that was done all that often. So I guess it also wasn't the most elegant solution here for such a small thing like moving Mii's. Plus, although the Wii, at least the very first models, did have GameCube memory card slots, it couldn't use them unless you were playing GameCube games. And even though the system has an SD card slot, it took until 2009 for Nintendo to add an SD card manager app via System Update. Prior to that, you had to manually transfer anything over to internal storage whenever you wanted to actually use it. Not to mention, who wants to carry around SD cards with them? You could just throw one of those things in your pocket and suddenly it's gone forever, and so are all your saves.
Yep.
Lastly, there's USB storage, which would be easy enough, but the only Wii game I could think of that let you use USB memory sticks was Dragon Quest X, solely because that game had 2 discs and you needed to install them to that USB stick. So, well, in short, the Wii Remote save solution seems to actually have been a pretty solid one, again as limited as it was. As a fun little bonus fact, by the way, the Wii U's gamepad actually has a similar onboard storage thing going on. Every gamepad has 32 megabytes of storage specifically to be able to store any possible firmware updates to the gamepad, as well as act as a region lock. Because, you know, the one thing the Wii U needed was for its expensive controller to eventually be even harder to find over time as more and more of those gamepads start to fail. Great.
Yep.
Anyway, that's pretty close to the full
Thanks,
story
Nintendo.
behind one of the many weird features that game consoles have had over the years. And it's a rabbit hole I went down solely because of fucking my Sims. If you want another answer to a question you've probably never had until I ask it right this moment, check out my video diving into the intricacies of how multi-disc video games like Final Fantasy worked on different systems over the years. It's another fun one, plus I
don't think it is. The ape and the child. The last thing you'd want was your sibling to be a monkey. But that just may be what you get. This child experiment in 1932 is horrifying. It truly shows the dark side of science.
You know, in Monsters, Inc., with fur, we've got fur. I'm here to confirm we have fur. You know, then it would be Nemo. You know, we have underwater lighting, and we can do subsurface scattering, and then...
This is the always playful, much beloved animation director Brad Bird, the director behind
Nah,
animated
fuck
classics
him.
like Ratatouille and The Iron Giant. And here he's explaining the technical difficulties facing probably his most incredible film.
With Incredibles, our whole film was constructed of things, all the things that computers were still bad at. They were bad at humans, they were bad at hair.
So, the computers were bad.
They were bad at cloth, they were bad at water, they were bad at fire.
Really bad. It was 2004, and while Pixar had quickly developed a reputation for pushing the boundaries in animation, Bird and his team took it one step further.
One of the challenges of the film was just the scope of it. We had a shot underwater, shots in a jungle, shots in a boring office cubicle, shots around the family dinner table, E's house, which is like Bauhaus meets Greek ruins. The variety of environments in this movie was enormous. I think that you can get a grasp of the number of different locations.
I hope you can get a grasp of the number of locations because Lord knows.
For reference, Monsters, Inc. had 50 individual locations. The Incredibles had over 200. There was fire, there was water, wind, clothing, all the most annoying elements of 3D animation at the time.
This is a hobo suit, darling. You can't be seen in this.
We have something like 95 costume changes, and not just t-shirts, but suits and shirts and ties.
But The Incredibles presented one major problem that Pixar hadn't had to deal with before.
When they started to think about what it was going to take to do this
Ruby.
film, one of the big issues was, oh man, we
God,
got
I
humans.
fucking love your beard.
Now, reason humans are tricky is you're one, I'm one, and all of a sudden we have expectations about how those humans are supposed to behave, how they're supposed to look,
Ah, gee,
what their
people
attributes
look like
are.
people.
So the animation team did what they do best. They invented the
Yeah, the high expectations for them to have fucking dump truck ass. It's
specialized controls, some software commands that would let the characters do what they'd never done before.
We've got characters that got big honking muscles. We got characters that have some mass.
fucking big honking massive asses.
So when I start running, I want to be able to control that mass, finesse that mass, such that I can actually have a jiggle. So we started to look at what kind of jiggle controls we would have.
Having the
Okay.
actual material, the skin,
All right.
real, organic and alive, would allow us to get away with less of the minute detail.
We have characters that have supernatural powers, stretchy, movie, bendy kinds of things. Fundamentals of animation, but now customized for humans.
And despite all these technical limitations and how hard they were working,
You know, we were on the edge of failure the entire time we were making it.
Bird still implored his team not to take any shortcuts.
But you want everything to be believable. You want to believe that these are living things that have feelings and past.
For instance, in Monsters Inc., the animators gave Boo pigtails because it would be easier to animate and replicate. When they asked Bird whether they could do that on The Incredibles, he rejected the option, instead encouraging his animators to push themselves for the sake of the character.
And it's great that Violet's got her hair behind both her ears. She's ready for action now.
Yeah, that was the visual idea there, and why having her hair work was such an issue. As a filmmaker, you're always looking for ways to say things visually, and having her hair start out in front of her face like something she's hiding behind, and then gradually get pushed back, and even having Mom push it back in the Cameron Miyazaki scenes was key to showing what's going on with it.
How are you doing that? I don't know. Whatever you do, don't stop.
This little story feeds into Bird's animation ethos and what he believes animation is truly capable of. Sure, the animation was groundbreaking and the technology they created helped shape many
I don't
future
want to
films,
do
Pixar
bees.
and otherwise, but Bird was always fixated on trying to show that animation was for adults too.
And people keep saying, the animation genre. It's not a genre. A Western is a genre. Animation is an art form, and it can do any genre. You know, it could do a detective film, a cowboy film, a horror film, an R-rated film, or a kid's fairy tale. But it doesn't do one thing. Freeze.
So how does Brad Bird use his animation to tell us about his characters? How does he create any depth? Well, first he comes up with a simple story.
What if you had a superhero who was not able to be a superhero and is a little older?
You know I'm retired from hero work.
As am I, Robert.
As am I.
This is the bare bones of The Incredibles, a super family with superpowers that reflect their familial archetypes. Bob is meant to be the strong father, Helen the flexible mother, Violet the awkward teenager, Dash the energetic kid, and Jack the chaotic baby. So that's fun and leads to some exciting action scenes, but Bird did everything he could to emphasize that this was, first and foremost, a story about the characters.
And, you know, most superhero movies begin with the big whammo blammo thing. And I thought if we started in this kind of strange, you know, the film's kind of beat up and old, and we're looking at them in some kind of personal documentary sense that would put the emphasis on them being people.
This is on.
That's fine.
The fact that they are talking about things that they think their future will involve. So Frozone is the ladies' man, even though we later see him as being married.
Is my super.
Bob is talking about settling down, although later he has a problem with it. And Helen can't imagine settling down, and she turns out to make the transition very well.
So Bird takes time to slow down the story to flesh out his character's motivations, but that doesn't mean he shies away from the action too.
Brad has always said
I started that because I used Smite
action
the one time,
a lot of Brad's
but now I'm out of prayer, so I can't.
Let's just not do the cool thing. Let's have that, but also, okay, this little kid is using his powers for the first time. What kind of stuff is he doing?
He discovers through it, you know, what he can do.
Right.
He doesn't know what he can do.
That's the point of the sequence. Is that it's not just a chase sequence. It's a kid discovering that he can do a lot more than he thought he could do.
I'm alive.
And it's through action sequences like this that Bird communicates the message or the lesson of the film. Initially, the Pars are told to hide their abilities in the fear of being ostracized or arrested by society, but it isn't until they truly unleash their powers that they become the best and happiest
Fucking easy.
version of themselves. So the message is pretty simple: embrace your true self, your talents, and you'll be the best you that you can be. But like any truly great movie, the discourse is a little more complicated than that.
Everyone's special, Dash, which is another way of saying no one is.
While universal excellence is a touching sentiment and something I took away from the movie when I was 10 years old, the villain also makes some interesting counterpoints.
This is because I don't have powers, isn't it? Well, not every superhero has powers, you know. You can be super without them.
Syndrome is a non-super who desperately works.
Yeah, Down syndrome.
Well, I'm Incrediboy.
What? His special talent is his intelligence, and he designs technology to artificially replicate being a super. However, in a moment that contradicts the film's message, Mr. Incredible completely dismisses him.
Fly home, buddy.
He's seemingly not special enough, which then comes full circle when Syndrome returns as a real threat, forcing Bob to take notice.
Buddy?
My name is not Buddy!
The idea here is to have our villain be a little bit sympathetic. The roots of this problem go back. Bob made a mistake back then, not treating the kid with a little more grace.
So what the hell is the movie actually saying? Does Brad Bird really think that everyone's special, or is Syndrome actually right when he says,
And when everyone's super,
No one will be.
perhaps Bird is only celebrating the truly exceptional individuals amongst us?
Thank you, Mr. Incredible. You've done it again.
Yeah, you're the best. No, I'm just.
Well, this is definitely what his biggest critics think. Specifically, they equate his messages of individuality with the objectivism of author
Ooh,
Ryan
Elden
Rand.
Ring's on
In
sale.
extremely simple terms, Rand believed that the truly great amongst us should, as much as possible, not be shackled by law or conventions.
Right now, honey, the world just wants us to fit in, and to fit in, we just gotta be like everybody else.
Perfection should instead be celebrated and rewarded with the appropriate social advantages. This idea bleeds through to a lot of superhero content. Here, the world falls prey to an egomaniac when they outlaw supers.
It is time for their secret identity
To become their only identity.
But are saved by the truly exceptional Parr family. So, unhampered excellence is the solution. And this same theme that society places unnecessary constraints on exceptional individuals crops up in a number of Bird's other films.
And the truth is, I have no talent at all.
Ratatouille, which projects a similarly positive message that anyone can cook,
Anyone
also
can
emphasizes that if you don't have any talent, you should get out of the way of people who do. So here, and in the sequel, mind you, the fact that a non-super who harnesses their special skills is presented as the villain emphasizes Bird's Randian
Lumberjack power. What?
Killed off real heroes so that you could pretend to be one.
But honestly, these criticisms seem to be forgetting one big detail.
160. Release me. I will crush her.
I'll crush her.
It was showing the blatant disregard Syndrome has for life. And I feel like a lot of our villains in real life have. Oftentimes it's decorated as a higher calling, but it isn't.
Syndrome is objectively a bad guy. He has a special talent, but uses it for evil. The ideas of good, bad, and the morals of breaking unjust laws for the good are explored in more detail in the sequel, but Bird's movies always punish those who use unlimited power for their selfish purposes. All of his movies grapple with objectivist themes, that's undeniable.
you always say be true to yourself, but you never say which part of yourself to be true to.
But they don't conclude that doing what's best for the self is what's best for everybody. Instead, Bird seems to be promoting doing what's right, and what's right is what benefits the most people. The Parr family saves the city,
Interesting.
Remy saves Alfredo's legacy and his family, and the Iron Giant trends from what makes him exceptional and would harm others to what makes him exceptional and would benefit others.
I promise I'll slow up. I'll only be the best by a tiny bit.
In summary, The Incredibles doesn't offer any easy answers because there aren't any. Building a society that benefits everybody, gives everyone the same amount of freedom, while also allowing people as much freedom as possible to exercise their unique talents is basically impossible.
Lumberjack.
Superheroes. What can happen?
But it's cool to know that Brad Bird is constantly adding to this conversation with some entertaining and innovative films, and he's using his animation superpowers for good.
If I did what they were doing, I'd be going, hey, I just made a miracle happen. Come on, little respect here. But these guys are quiet, and they just, they make...
Give me the root. The 18th Amendment. Theo Von saying some crazy stuff without flinching. Okay.
Sorry. Good evening.
Oh, Roots.
I'm happy to be here tonight, so I'll say it. I will say it. God, dude, the fucking French, man. People are rude in France, man. I said hello to a guy. He said no. So, who wants one of these handbags? You want one? Oh, God, baby. There you go, Buttercup. What else, dude? Not much. My sister's been fucking this guy. I wouldn't fuck her. So I just don't see what he sees, you know, it's... But thankfully there's laws, you know, so... What else? Are we done? Oh, I'll tell you what happened was, my cousin got bit by a gay guy. So we'll see.
The first money I made on Instagram was $10,000 for a post. Guess what item you think it was? I had to
Let me
promote.
think.
So it was a girl idol.
Oh, like
It's a vibrator.
Vibrator. Sexual.
Skinny tea.
A gun. No, like a recipe book. What was it?
You know, I grew up around some fucking real crazy poor white people. You know, the dude, they had a dude in our town, no arms, used to fucking fight everybody. You know that dude. You know what I'm saying? He'd get you in that lurch. He would catch you with between his chin and his chest. He would fucking snack you like a snake. And he'd choke you down.
He had no arms.
No arms at all. And he'd fight anybody, dude. And he would choke you. So if you went to... the whole family was fucking...
He could choke you out.
Psychos, bro. Brother had sharpened half of his teeth on one side of his mouth, dude. These people would fuck you up. One of the kids was in a wheelchair, they never taught him to walk, I think. I don't even think he was crippled. They just never taught him to walk. And so the other brother would carry him on his back everywhere, like a backpack, dude, and didn't even give a fuck. Somebody, one time when I was in college,
I don't
sent me
believe
a
that.
picture of two old men, and they were naked in a room. I
Lemon
remember
Party?
This email.
Oh, Lemon Party.
And
I've
they-
probably seen the same image.
And they had a kid, like, sitting on a bed.
No, I haven't seen that image.
Right? And in my mind, I'd never thought about old people and children and sex, you know, or anything wild like that. So I remember seeing it and be like, oh, this is fucking hilarious. But I remember seeing it and be like, what a crazy idea. Like, you know, everybody is naked, you know, and so, like, life is naked. This is just you know, it's almost like an art. Like, this is how people, you know, it's like this is when they're old and this is when they're young and these guys are, you know, watching TV or whatever, you know, I thought. So I sent it to everybody I knew. I was like, guys, this is so silly. And dude, I remember
Guys,
like 2
so
years later
silly.
running into an ex-girlfriend, and she goes, well, what have you been up to with your life, right? She goes, yeah, well, nobody will forget that time that you sent that picture of two old men and a naked kid to everybody. Virgin power is so strong, bro.
Is
I saw
it?
a
Wow.
virgin. Oh, dude.
That's crazy.
Oh, somebody parked a Volkswagen Rabbit on this guy's leg one time outside of our schoolhouse, and I saw a virgin fucking lift it right off his leg.
Wild. Yo, what?
And this was in fucking... Who knows when it was?
Every scene is from like the movie Powder. Every scene, it's amazing.
What are you talking about?
Every
dude?
scene
You
of your
ever read
life. is
stories
a
like
movie.
that?
I've never seen a virgin pick up a car.
Yeah.
They pick up AK-47s now. That's the
Oh.
problem. Virgins now are picking up AR-15s. Hopefully they start picking up cars again. That would be nice.
They need to start
That'd be
passing
great.
out some pussy then, bro.
I agree with you.
Because they're shutting down all the pussy, bro. That's who's doing it. Get a bunch of mushrooms.
Big
and we
pussies.
I don't know. We weren't really in the race or anything. But at one point, we took over a table. Somebody had a table where they had all the cups of water. And we took it over right in the middle. And I'm just flying on mushrooms at this point, dude. I'm looking, you know, the Lord's looking for me, you know, and I'm looking for him, you know. We're going to meet up that afternoon. But, and people were running by in this race, you know. There's tens of thousands of people in this race. And when they get close, someone would try to get the water, and we'd be like, no, it's for Asian people only. So you have so many people, and they're running. They have to keep going. There's a huge flow of people. They can't argue or discuss it.
Right.
You'd be like, it's Asians only. And they're like, and they just keep on like
Passing out from dehydration a quarter mile down the road.
All these Irish people stacking up at the curb at the next turn, just boom, boom. And Asian people were so happy, bro. Bro. One time, I was with this girl, and I was so drunk, bro. She was driving us, and I had to puke so bad, and I just took my hat off my head, filled it, just vomited right into it. Just threw it right out the window, just kept talking to her like nothing had happened. It'll cure Down syndrome, bro. I beat it.
How you beat it?
There was a lot of rumors in my town that I beat Down syndrome.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's inspiring, man.
That's how I felt when I heard them, because I didn't start them. You check any Native American's car, you always find gin and femurs or something. You know, they keep the dead with them a lot of times. I unfortunately almost knocked this young lady up that was from South Dakota. And she lived on a reservation, yeah.
Oh.
And she like threatened to have the baby.
Damn, how old were you?
37 this year. It was this year. And she wouldn't even be cool. She threatened to have the baby, dude, and I just met her at a motel. Yeah. Look, the bottom line is people are without hair. You see him all the time. Will Smith's husband. He lost it.
So did you do like the open mic circuit in LA?
Yeah, started doing open mics here.
Like at Marty's or where? Like at the
They had a
Comic
place.
Meltdown and stuff?
No, they had a place over on the west side of town. I lived.
Yeah.
I was sleeping under. A buddy of mine had a bed, and I was sleeping under his bed for $150 a month.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes even in his bed, sometimes when he would be out of town or when he would leave for work, I'd climb up into his bed, dude. And I've never been heavily homosexual, but I will say this. That there's nothing really gayer than getting into a man's warmth after he's already left the room, you know, and climbing up into his bed. A man you don't even really know that much, but still catching that hit off of his temperature, you know? It's true, man.
Yeah.
Well, you jack off when you were young. I mean, I remember if I saw like I remember my buddy's mom had a brassiere one time that she would leave hanging in the bathroom, and I'd just go in there. And
To the brassiere?
Oh, bro, I would tie it around my fucking face so that each cup like came over, like
Oh, wow, that's
right,
some weird
left
shit.
a little bit of nose, but the nostrils were covered. So just the middle.
Oh, this.
Just that nape, bro.
It's almost like that Versace, the Killing Versace shit. Where
What's
you,
that, your
like,
nose taint? What is this thing, that little part?
Your septum.
No, it's your nape, isn't it?
A little bit. A little bit. You'd cover up so you can almost restrict your breathing.
Oh, bro. So I had to breathe solely through these these straight up titty
Booby
shields.
holders.
Yeah. Oh,
That's what you used to like, huh?
Those fucking milk holsters, bro. I could smell the milk. I could smell the skin.
Milk
I could smell the nipple. I could smell the children. I could smell all the years of my buddy growing up.
What the fuck,
Bro, I
bro?
could smell it all, dude.
Wow.
And it would go straight into
That's
my head.
creepy.
And dude, I would sometimes when I was young, when I'd masturbate, I'd pass out. The time I knew I had a neighbor at one of my old places, and he had husbands or men. He preferred the pleasure of men. And they used to get up there, and sometimes, dude, I'd be laying in bed at night listening to these men make love kind of in the distance. And damn, sometimes it was, it didn't make me erect or anything like that, but it was probably the most I ever even knew my neighbors, really, in a weird way. It's probably the closest that I got to knowing any of my neighbors. Was sometimes listening to this man who used to make soap. He also made soap. He was a soapsman or sudsman. I don't even know. I could look it up on my internet's having trouble. I would listen to him, and he had a couple of different partners, I think. But that's his shit, dude. That's his life.
Yeah, that's his
No,
thing.
You're beautiful, man.
Yeah,
You're a good guy.
I appreciate it, man.
You seem like a really good guy, and I'm happy that you found a lady that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember seeing you guys laugh and just like being like goofy, and just seemed like I was like, man, these two kids are. Hope they don't have a child, because this child's gonna be mentally handicapped. But I also remember, because where I'm from, if you see two mentals hugging, you call the cops on them. And that was a rule when I was young, and that's true, dude. That's true. If you see two mentals hugging, you call the cops immediately, because once two mentals don't make a non-mental. Rarely do they. And it's a risk, and it's high risk, low reward. That's what they call that. You don't think I have talent? Well,
Let's see if I do. You know?
Right.
So then I just got into stand up, and I always like making people laugh. Like I used to do a
Yeah.
similar thing when I was a child. At the lunch table, we'd get some kids who were mentals, or a couple of them might have been mentals, and a couple kids that were well, you know. And we get there and
That
sit
were
around,
well.
make them drink milk, and then tell jokes and do stuff, and till one of them just blew milk out of their face, you know. And if you get some straight up, just a couple mentals, boy, some straight up sawed off humans, you get them to straight up.
Oh my fucking son.
Blow leche out their dome, dude. That's America right there. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
America.
And that's when I knew, I was like, oh, I got some kind of a gift here. You know? I almost blew the throat out of this one boy. Almost blew the throat out of this one boy named Tot. T-O-T was his name. Kind of a bad name too, to be mentally challenged, but also easy for him to spell. And I'm not joking, that's what his father said. And easy for him to spell backward and forward. Same name, Tot. So that's true, man.
Was this guy's his name was Todd?
Yeah, dude. Why are you so laughing at him?
Oh god, it's good. I gotta go take a piss. No, I'm not doing these. Yeah, no, I'm only four. I'm gonna. Well, shit, if this guy does the work. And that's what you do when you get a random event while you're doing bees. You dismiss it. Because it makes everybody's life so much easier. God, I swear the hitbox is on these. I'm shitsing. Nice. Chop chop. Fuck these lantidime seeds. Damn. 100 infused bark. Fucking mint. Heckler calls me racist. Yeah, I don't care. Shorts don't show. Hotel hell. That's why I never put garbage cans on my head. All right, Hannibal, let's see what you got.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing? What's up? I hope y'all had an easy time getting into this building because I did not. I tried to walk up like, yeah, I'm shooting a special. I was excited, walk in, go, and the dude was like, hold up. He said, you working here? I said, yeah, I'm doing a little bit of work here. Can I come in, please? Hold up, let me call it in. Man, security is serious. This is nice. It's 2 hour special. They got a girl in the back. She brushed my goatee for me. That was nice. I've done TV before, but nobody ever brushed my goatee. I got a brush. I never even brushed my goatee. It never even occurred to me. I was like, this is really good. My first regular comedy gig, I hosted an open mic in my college town. It was poetry, music, comedy.
Oh,
everything.
God.
One show I had an ex-girlfriend that showed up to perform. I had to introduce her to the stage. It was very awkward. Coming to the stage is the cold-hearted bitch that broke my heart. You may know her from not returning my phone calls and also giving out mediocre blowjobs. Make a lot of noise for Tia Johnson, everybody.
BBT.
Her real name. I just stopped saying her real name. I just say something else. I can still say that I gotta stop saying her real name joke and still say a fake name, but I keep saying her real name.
Wait, who the fuck's BBT?
A few summers ago, I went on a tour with a bunch of bands. Before the tour started, I wanted to get an idea who I'd be working with. So I watched some of these bands on YouTube. And I was watching clips, and one of the bands, every show, the lead would put the microphone in his ass. So I was concerned. So then I emailed the promoter, said, hey man, what's up with this dude putting the microphone in his ass? And he wrote me back and said, don't worry, microphone in the ass guy brings his own microphone.
Good for him.
As he should bring his own microphone. But I'm sure it didn't start out like that. I probably took some complaints from other performers. Hey man, I don't want to be a diva or anything, but this guy just totally assed out the microphone. So, is there a way to get a spare microphone, or is there something we can spray on the microphone to make it unassed? I'm not used to working like this, man. This is not why I got in the music business. They would put on a live show. Every show, the lead from the band would take a garbage can full of bar garbage and throw it on the head of his drummer, and the drummer just keep drumming with garbage on his body.
No.
My favorite show was in Montreal. During that, somebody else from the crowd took the garbage can off of the drummer's head, put it on his own head. I don't know why he did that, because immediately after, somebody else from the crowd punched him in his garbage can head, and he fell to the ground.
As one should.
Bloody. Now, I tell you why that happened. That's because when you put a garbage can on your head, it limits your peripheral vision about 100%. Leaving you very open to those type of attacks. That's why I never put garbage cans on my head, because I always need to know what's going on around me, and I can't maintain that level of awareness with a garbage can on my head. I just know myself like that. I felt bad for the guy because it happened so fast. He didn't even get to enjoy having a garbage can on his head. His 2 consecutive thoughts were, I have a garbage can on my head. Man, I regret putting that garbage can on my head. That was a horrible idea. So I do shows at colleges sometimes, and when I do a college show, I do an interview with the school paper, and the result could be a horrible article. So I want to share with y'all this article from my gig I did at Eastern Illinois University in Charleston, Illinois.
Oh, God.
This is all real and in print. A human being wrote this.
It's gonna be good.
And then they sent it to a higher ranking human being, an editor, and that person said, yeah, let's go with that. Quick-witted Burris set for laughs. Comedian helps bring diversity to campus. Wait. I'm responsible for bringing diversity to your campus? Because you realize the type of diversity I bring is very temporary. Because I'm leaving as soon as I get my check. This town sucks. Actually, pay me before the show. It was a phone interview, and sometimes when I do phone interviews and a journalist is boring, I just start saying crazy stuff to make it fun for me and make the most out of my time. And she said, what do you talk about in your comedy? I said, I talk about the straights. And she put that in the paper, for real? His performances include comedic jokes related. Wait. Comedic jokes?
As opposed to yeah.
Out there? Am I missing out on a genre of jokes? I hate for that to be the reason I don't make it big. Yeah, Hannibal Buress could have been huge, but he focused all his energy on comedic jokes. When there was so many other type of jokes out there, he really pigeonholed himself. And I'm some bitter old man comedian. Yeah, these young comedians, they focus on all types of jokes. Esoteric jokes and jokes about hats. We were purists. We only did comedic jokes. These young dudes, man. His performances include comedic jokes related to personal stories, current events, the streets. You know what? I take the blame for that. I said that on the record. Take the blame. His performances include comedic jokes related to personal stories, current events, the streets, and even food, he said. What? Even food? Who else is talking about food in the comedy game right now? Nobody, just Hannibal Buress. That's
yeah, no, this is Jerry Seinfeld.
Subject matter. He is the Lenny Bruce of grocery store humor. He is so edgy. You should have saw when he was in Dallas, Texas. Half the crowd walked out when he did his new bit about lettuce. It was crazy. He was too edgy for that town. Matt Caponera, the university comedy coordinator, said Buress was picked because he stood out more than other choices. He stands out like an exclamation point, Caponera said. I don't know if that's weird or borderline racist. Let's go with weird. It's easy to go racist. Let's go with weird. Because I think it's weird to compare people to punctuation. Nah, I think he's more like a semicolon comedian, very semicolon-like in delivery and pacing. I don't even know how to use a semicolon to this day. I use a comma every time. And you know what? If I email somebody and they get upset about me using a comma instead of a semicolon.
So, well, that's a weird thing because you can technically use a comma instead of a semicolon, but semicolons are two separate ideas, but are linked. Like they're related in some way, which I guess you could just use a comma. Fucking weird.
The most popular comedian in Caponera's price range of $2,000. Was was a couple years ago. Two things about that. One, you goddamn right I was. Hell yeah. I was ruling that price range in the Midwest 2 years ago. Two, how tacky is that? Did she go to her editor? Hey, I want to make this article more tacky. You have any ideas? Well, maybe you can mention the amount of money he's making from the show. Adds nothing to the article at all. Plus, we get the added bonus of putting his business out there and making it harder for him to charge more than that in the future. So, I think if you're going for word count, that's your move. Cabernet said he also picked first because he is African American, which added more diversity to the comedic lineup this semester. He's a black comedian, so it makes our crowd more diverse, and everyone gets what they want, Cabernet said. Everyone gets what they want? That's a weird, broad thing to say. Even people that didn't attend the show, hey, did you book Hannibal Buress? Yeah, we booked. While you coming to the show? Nah, I'm not coming to the show, but I got what I wanted. Because everybody gets what they want when they come to town. Town morale peaks is at an all-time high. Everybody's happy. They go to the local grocery store just juggling items, no intention on buying them, just in the aisles yelling, even food! He's coming to town, y'all! Hell yeah! You think he's gonna do the lettuce bit? I don't know. I'm not even going to the show. I'm just happy he's here. 2 years ago, I got a job writing at Saturday Night Live. My first week writing at Saturday Night Live, Megan Fox was the host. And you can meet with the host to talk about your sketch. So a producer comes around and says, hey, do you want Megan Fox to come by your office? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Are you creating a situation where Megan Fox has to talk to me? Hell yeah. So to give you some background on the sketch I wrote for her, I'm a big fan of scatting and music, not scatting, shitting on people. Gotta be clear for people. Cause I always wonder how scatting started. I pictured two singers in the back of a club. Hey man, did you write your song for tonight? Nah, I only wrote half of it. Well, what are you gonna do? I think I'm gonna sing that half and the rest I'm singing gibberish. You can't sing gibberish. Listen, man, these people are drunk. We got a band back here with us. If I feel like I sell it, we can just do some rhythmic gibberish. And he goes out there, skibbity-bop-bop, beady-bop-bop, beady-bop-bop, and people go crazy for gibberish. He's walking off stage all cocky. The other guy's like, whatever, when you write, you write. So I wrote a sketch where Megan Fox was a horror movie villain that killed her victims with scatting.
What?
Yeah, it didn't make it to television at all.
Yeah, I wonder why.
It deserved to make it to television. But what's cool about SNL is that all the sketches get read through. So Megan Fox had a scat in a room full of people. Skibbity-bop-bop. And I'm like a creep in the corner holding my script. Like, yes, Megan Fox is reading my words right now. Yeah. Megan Fox is reading the words right now that I wrote. Oh, nah, Megan, you messed up a lot. One week there was a monkey written into the opening monologue. And then the day before the show, we got a message saying we had to write new jokes because the monkey isn't available anymore. Which makes me picture a monkey on the phone like, yeah, I don't want to do Saturday Night Live anymore. I don't like that show. That show sucks. Hasn't been funny since the 70s. Like, damn, that monkey's kind of mean. And he's over-romanticizing the Belushi era. That shit was... There's a dress rehearsal and an air show, and it's more sketches on the dress rehearsal. Whatever doesn't do well gets cut, and then that's the air show. So I had a sketch that made it to dress rehearsal. And when you have that, you sit under the bleachers where the audience is sit with Lauren Michaels, and you watch it on a monitor, and he gives you notes. This particular sketch of mine was bombing horribly. And during that, I was just practicing acting like my sketch wasn't bombing. Hey, chill out, man. It's a slow build. It's a slow build. Relax. It was a slow build to nothing. This sketch bombed horribly. And he usually gives a note. Maybe this person should walk in quickly. He didn't have nothing to say. It was quiet. He said, well, that was conceptually adventurous. I like that job, though. We had interns the job. You tell them to do stuff, and they do it. It's great. You got to be nice to them, though. I had this guy fax something. Hey, man, fax that for me. And I gave him another page. Hey, fax something for yourself. one day I got on the elevator going down and stopped on 3. This man got on and said, "Thank you." What are you thanking me for? I don't work on the elevator. This ain't Mad Men. Why are you talking to me? Why are you thanking me to get on the elevator? What is your life like? Are you not allowed on the elevators? People usually push you off the elevator. Get off the elevator, Steve. Stairs for you. It's always been stairs. Been on the road. I was in Scotland for all of August. It was the darkest time of my life. Mostly because they call cookies biscuits. I didn't like that at all. It was an incredible culture shock for me, tough to adjust. But I tried for a few weeks. Sure, I passed you the chocolate chip biscuits. Let's have biscuits and milk, everybody. I love Oreo biscuits. But in the 4th week, I couldn't handle it no more. Those are biscuits. Those are cookies. Cookies are cookies and biscuits are biscuits. If you call cookies biscuits, then what do you call biscuits? Because I'm not saying scones. I think I was dealing with some other stuff at the time. And I transferred my anger. No way I was that mad about that. So one night I was out. It was 5 in the morning. Having some drinks. Was talking with this girl. I decided to take a swing. I say, how about we go back to my place for some food, some drinks. Most women would say, yeah, that sounds cool. Or, nah, I'm all right. But what she said was, what type of food are we talking about?
Hey, there you go.
And what type of drinks are we talking about? And do you expect me to have sex with you if I come back to your place? If you come back to my place at 5 in the morning and eat all my food and drink all my drinks, and you don't want to have sex, then I don't want you in my life at all. What type of person to do something like that? That sounds like something a sociopath would do. Come to your place, eat your food, drink your drinks, leave at 6:30 without fucking like it's cool. That's a passive burglary.
Where the fuck's the green? Oh, here we go.
It was crazy, but I was kind of drunk, so I went, oh, she's kind of quirky. She's kind of quirky and weird. So we talked for a little bit. She says stuff, I say stuff. She says stuff, I say stuff. You know how a conversation works. I think it's going well. I go in for the kiss. She says, what? You think you can just kiss me? Western men and men in general think they're entitled to whatever they want from women. You objectify us. She started going on this weird feminist rant. Hey, it's fine if you want to be a feminist, but I think 5 in the morning after the bar closes is a weird time to jump on your soapbox. And men just want to fuck. Yeah, it's 5 in the morning. Everybody wants to. That's why they stayed out till 5, because it didn't happen at 2. So we keep talking for some reason. She wants to know my address. She's showing interest. I tell her the address. Then we want to go a little further. She wants to know the address plus the cross street. Then she texts it to herself after I tell her. I say, what's wrong? She says, I have to be safe. 3 out of 10 women that get raped don't report it. And I said, 1 out of 1 dudes is walking away from the conversation. And she said, what's wrong? I said, you're a crazy person. That's what's wrong. And right now, it sounds kind of risky to hang out with you. And I didn't know this about myself until today, but I don't hang out with anybody that quotes rape statistics. There's nobody in my life that does that. That's such a weird trait to have. I'm a black man in Scotland on a work visa. You talking about rape, they're gonna believe any bullshit you say. I gotta go. But super drunk women can't handle rejection. She was just trying to explain. Hannibal, please let me explain. No, you've explained enough with your words. Hannibal, why was wrong? You are insane, lady. That's what's wrong. Hannibal, I just want to educate people. This is a weird-ass time for that type of class. Hannibal, why? Come on. No, go away, lady. Give me 30 seconds to explain. No, I don't want to talk with you. Hannibal, please stop walking away. Get away from me. Hannibal, please. Hey, lady, you're acting like a rapist right now. I told you I don't want to talk with you, but you keep on talking at me. You are raping my eardrums. I feel real threatened. No means no. I feel like her statistic was weird, though. 3 out of 10 women that get raped don't report it. Then how you finding that out? Are the rapists calling in and say, hey, hello? Yeah, I raped this girl. I don't think she's gonna tell. But I know y'all do stats and stuff, so I want those stats to be accurate, so... Because I know sometimes crazy women like to have stuff to say at 5 in the morning, so I just want to make sure they have that and they just talking right when they...
Oh, more roots.
I got a jaywalking ticket in Montreal. I couldn't believe
Jaywalking's not a real
I've
crime.
jaywalked so many times in my life. It's such an easy thing to time out. Is there a car coming? Nah, let me get across there. I've done it thousands of times. But this time it was me and this old lady. We were jaywalking together. We weren't together like that, but if we were, so what? Mind your business. I just met y'all. So me and this old lady, we get across the street, then a Montreal cop approaches us speaking in French. French. I said, hey man, I don't talk like that. That's not how I talk. Can you talk to me how I talk? It probably wasn't the best way to start off our interaction by mocking his native language, but who cares? I take risks in life. And he says, you were jaywalking! And I said, sorry about that. And I tried to keep going about my day, because I thought that's how jaywalking was handled as a crime. You were jaywalking! My bad. We're done here, right? That's it. I acknowledge that I jaywalk. I apologize not for the act of jaywalking, but how my jaywalking made you feel. I'll try to jaywalk in the future while you're watching, but trust I'm going to do it the rest of my life. It's the best way to go about being a pedestrian. And he says, no, I have to give you a ticket. Give me your ID. I said, you don't understand. I only give people my ID for real stuff. This is not real. This is a fantasy crime that you're enforcing to cover up the fact that your city is having financial problems right now. Your city is broke, and they put you out here with a quota, and that's fine. I will donate 60 of your colorful-ass dollars to your broke-ass city.
Oh, and there's
do it like
Lumberjack.
that, no paperwork, and it's good. Guess what? 2 more cops show up. Now we have 3 Montreal police officers working this high-profile jaywalking case. 3 cops for me in jaywalking. Fair enough. I decided during the time that I was just going to talk trash to the cop standing closest to me because I don't like him or what he represents. This can't be your childhood dream. When I grow up and be a police officer, when people cross the street illegal, we'll put the stop to that. Yeah, the world needs me. No, we don't. I hope you hate that part of yourself. So I kept talking trash to him because I realized he wasn't going to murder me, which is a good thing to be able to read on a person. Like, will this person kill me? I just shut up. Because cops have murdered unarmed men all over the country and been found not guilty. Why'd you kill that man? He didn't have any weapons, officer. He was only talking to you. Yeah, he was talking to me, but his teeth looked like 32 tiny white guns. So we shot him 32 times in the mouth. That sounds like reasonable force. Not guilty. What the hell? So I don't like this person at all. So I just wanted to mess with him and say whatever I could say to mess with him because he's wasting my time. So I said, hey man, how much money do you make a year? Which is a douchey thing to do. I'm aware. But you know what else is douchey? To have 3 cops working a jaywalking ticket. That's overkill. I only have 2 legs. That's a cop and a half per leg. That's a waste of city funds. That's why that city is broke now. And he told me how much he made. I don't know why he told me. He didn't have to tell me. Then he said, how much do you make? And I told him. Got upset and he said, what, do you sell drugs? I said, no, I don't sell drugs. It's kind of racist. What, do you sell cars? Wait, why are those the first 2 guesses? Hey, this dude is doing something illegal or people love buying Subarus from him. He's a charismatic guy, sell the hell out of a car. Those are the only 2 jobs I know besides police officer. I'm a dumb guy. My worldview is limited. I said, hey man, your colleague here is 50 years old and he's writing jaywalking tickets for a living. Is he considered a failure as a police officer? Because that seems like some stuff that you should be doing. He was a younger guy. He was upset about that. He was trying to hold in and he was upset, but I could tell he was upset because the next thing he said was, oh, you're a cool guy, huh? I said, no, I'm not a cool guy. You a cool guy? He said, yeah, I'm a cool guy just doing cool stuff, trying to be cool. I said, man, cool people never say shit like that. They gave me a $37 ticket for jaywalking and a $444 ticket just for being an asshole. That's how much it costs to be an asshole to Montreal police, just in case you're pricing it out for your next vacation. But don't worry about me. I'm not paying either of them. It's in Canada. It doesn't count to me. It's not real. Not paying a Canadian ticket. I get speeding tickets. I got a speeding ticket in Indiana going 80 and a 60. The officer stopped me and said, "Why were you going so fast?" Because this car is awesome. That's why I was going so fast. You should be happy I was only doing 80. This car has 160 on the dash. You should be applauding my restraint right now. I was only doing half. Why was I going so fast? Because life is short and we all gonna die soon. And I want to minimize the time I spend on Indiana State Road 37. This state and this road sucks. And officer, if you saw against speeding and watched you speed to catch up to me, you're a hypocrite. If you're really against speeding, you would have kept going the speed limit, watched me speed in the other lane, and then just shook your head and judged me. Instead, we both were speeding for a moment, then the road wasn't any better for it. How you gonna say that I can't do what I did when you did the exact same thing that I did just to catch up to me to say, don't do that? When I travel, I get rental cars. I put rims on them. When I bring them back, they go, "What's all this?" "You owe me $1,800. That's what all this is. I just hooked this Kia Sorento up." What's crazy with rental cars, they charge you $9 a gallon if you don't bring back the gas tank full. That's why I make sure the tank is full when I bring it back, but I use up all the windshield wiper fluid. All the windshield wiper fluid is gone. My windshield is so clean and crisp. I use all the transmission fluid. I make so many transmissions: park to reverse, reverse back to park to neutral, neutral to reverse, reverse back to neutral, neutral to reverse back to neutral, neutral to reverse to D2, and I ride around in D2 for a little bit. Because I like how it sounds. It sounds way different than drive, and I enjoy that. It's like
Let's go.
to drive. D2 coming soon next year, D3, 3D.
How much is this shit?
I have fun when I rent cars.
Oh.
Sometimes I leave bloody knives and stuff in the trunk. Just to see how it hurts people handle the pressure. I don't see anything. Do you see anything? I had a lot of fun in your city. I'm about to hop on this shuttle bus. I'll see you later.
Is there a reason, or is this just
I always get the insurance, but I never wreck a car that
cosmetic?
feels like a waste. I want to get my money's worth. Next time I get the insurance, I'm hitting 6 of their cars as I return it.
Look at that.
Like, Dad, my bad, man. It looks like I hit 6 of y'all cars, but don't worry, I got the full coverage. So just email me that paperwork, and I'll sign off on it. I'm about to hop on this shuttle bus. I'll see y'all later. Those are two so-so jokes, but I just like saying hop on this shuttle bus. I was at the airport. There was this kid, 4 or 5 years old, walking with his mom. He fixed his fingers in a fake gun and then took a shot at me. Now I'm looking at the wall to see if there's something on the wall he could have been shooting at, because I'm in denial. I look back at him. He looks me in my eyes and takes 2 more shots. Now I'm hit 3 times. That was an act of aggression. I have to defend myself. I'm a man before anything. I will point blank fake shoot this kid right here. And it's, "Hey, die, bitch, little kid, die. What now? Now what? What are you looking at, Mom? Control your kids and shit like this won't happen in the airport. And everybody's getting fake shot. What's everybody else looking at? It's got nothing to do with you. American Airlines lady, get down right now. I shoot up you and your bankrupt ass company." My other airport nemesis is airport security. I don't like them at all. They seem so dedicated to keeping bottled water out of the sky. That's their main thing. It's probably easier to get cocaine on the plane than a bottle of water. Probably the only way you couldn't get cocaine on the plane if they looked at it and said, "What is this? Powdered water." No, it's cocaine. Go right ahead. Enjoy your flight. Because a terrorist tried a liquid bomb thing, now nobody can bring liquids on the plane. One person messed it up for everybody. But I feel like that's being reactive instead of proactive, because terrorists are always trying new stuff. So next time it's gonna be some type of Snickers bomb. And after that happens, you can't bring full-size Snickers on the plane anymore. You can only bring miniature Snickers because one person messed it up for everybody. Now you have security trying to negotiate your Snickers situation. "Hey, is it all right if I bring 4 miniature Snickers? That's about the same size as a full-size Snickers." Security says, "Don't play with me. This is not a game. We are saving the world one Snickers bar at a time for your freedom in America." Relax, man. I'm just hungry. Stop yelling at me. You can't bring the bottled water, sir. Why not? It's not bomb water. What if I sip the water to show you that it's not bomb water? But what if it's sippable bomb water? There's no such thing as sippable bomb water. You being silly right now, man. There's no such thing as bomb water. One day they stopped me for additional screening, but the only screening they did, they rubbed the cloth on my hands, and then they went and tested. They came back and said, all right, you good. Okay, cool. Good thing I didn't have bomb juice on my hands. Was that the bomb juice test? What if I did have bomb juice on my hands? What if one of my friends, hey, Hannibal, before you go to the airport, you want to hold a bomb real quick? And I said, you know what? I never held a bomb before. I'm open to new experience. Let me. That's pretty cool. Thanks, man. That's real cool. Then I get to the airport, they test my hands, they say, you have bomb juice on your hands. Is there anything you'd like to tell us? Yeah, one of my friends, he got a bunch of bombs, and he said, you want to hold a bomb real quick before you go to the airport? And I never held a bomb before, so I thought it'd be something cool to do. I made sure not to bring the bomb with me, because I know y'all hate that. So I want to just hold a bomb real quick. I think you need to chill out and stop being jealous, because I got all types of friends. Some of my friends
What are you doing, Cam?
let me hold them. You need to open up your social circle and meet some new people. I hate when they try to make conversation with me. Are you going to New York for business or pleasure? I'm going to New York to talk about you in front of strangers. So I guess both. I don't wear my glasses in my driver's license photo, so one guy goes, can you take your glasses off? Yeah. Sure, Captain America. It's still me. Who are you catching like that? Are you seriously finding terrorists that only use glasses in disguise? And you, the TSA agent, are cracking those cases? Can you take your glasses off? Damn it, no! How'd they find me? 15 years, this disguise was foolproof. I like the simplicity of it. I think I needed a fake nose and mustache to go with it. Ah! Yeah,
Fuck
dude,
the
it's still
bees.
me, man. You want me to put the shirt on that I had on my license photo also? It's from 8 years ago. I don't have that shirt anymore. One time I went to the DMV. The woman working at the DMV said, oh, wow. You don't turn 29 until your birthday. So wait, do I kill myself or do you kill yourself? Because we both can't be on this world together. One of us has to go. I'm willing to make the sacrifice just to not be in a place where you are. If this was olden times, you'd be tied to a cinder block and thrown in the ocean. Your stupidity would endanger the rest of the population. On October 30th, 2011, I had the darkest day of my life. I had to take a shit on a plane. It was horrible. I never had that happen to me. 16 years of flying, never shot on a plane.
I don't think I have.
First was anger. Damn it, I gotta shit on a plane! Then it was denial. I'm not shitting on this plane. Then it was sadness. I gotta shit on a plane. Then it was acceptance. Hey, I guess I gotta shit on this plane. Then it was happiness. Yo, I'm shit in the sky! I went through a lot. That poop joke is for the DVD. That's not gonna make television at all. I was on a flight from Atlanta back to New York. Former President Jimmy Carter was on the same flight as me. Before the flight took off, he walked through and shook everybody's hand that was on board. Yo, are you running for president of this flight? How you gonna assume everybody wants to meet you? Once you're a one-term president, you're bad at your job, and why are you flying commercial? So many questions for Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, what the
I also
fuck?
shook his hand because it seemed like the right thing to do. I didn't want to mess up his handshaking flow that he seemed to be in. Who knows? I don't shake his hand. He goes in the shot, passes out right there on the spot. Now we're super delayed. But I should have just fist bumped him because I was sitting in 34D. So by the time he got to me, that means he had 30 plus rows of nasty, gross shit from around the world on his hands. Who knows what the person in 1A was doing with his hands? 1A could have been touching on his travel balls. He had a layover. It's all weird. 2A has bomb water on his hands. 2B has bomb juice on her hands. On and on and on. There's 30 plus rows of nasty shit Jimmy Carter had on his hands when he touched mine. Where's your hand sanitizer, Jimmy Carter? Because you do this every flight and you know it, Jimmy Carter. You should be prepared. He had 3 Secret Service agents with him. Why? Nobody's trying to murder Jimmy Carter.
You know, Jimmy Carter actually killed himself.
80-year-old former president Jimmy Carter. Like, hey man, why don't we just let time kill Jimmy Carter? Replied his level-headed co-conspirator. You know why he had the Secret Service with him? Because if he didn't, honestly, I would have known it was Jimmy Carter. I would have said, who is this old-ass man from first class trying to shake everybody's hand? And where's his hand sanitizer? This dude is disgusting. I hate him. But the girl sitting next to me was so excited to meet Jimmy Carter as here. Oh my gosh, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. This never happens in life. What? Yeah, a lot of stuff never happens in life, but that doesn't make it good because it's happening for the first time. I never been stabbed before. If I get stabbed for the first time, whoa, this happening to me right now? Ah! I never been stabbed like this with a sharp weapon piercing my flesh so violently. I never seen so much blood. Never felt such pain. Thank you for this experience. I feel sleepy. I'm fading. I like to drink, but I only like to drink with people that can hold their liquor. I was out with this girl, I bought some drinks. We go back to my hotel room. She starts throwing up the drinks that I bought all over my hotel room. It was very upset. It was like she was throwing up my money on my money. Very upset on so many levels. Really not that many levels. People overuse that. It was messed up